All right, Ryan from TeamFFLEX here. We're going to break down something that comes up a lot for people that compete, or even just the average everyday person in the gym who's been there a long period of time trying to build muscle, trying to burn fat, weight loss, whatever. This topic is actually a viewer suggested topic. So anytime if you have things you want me to cover, comment them. I'll bring them to the channel. We're talking about body dysmorphia. Okay. And for those that do not know exactly what that term means, I mean, there's very analytical ways we could go about that term. There's books written on this kind of stuff. There's so much about it. But to summarize it, it's basically, let's just put it like this, you not seeing yourself accurately to what is actually going on with your body, with how you look, with how much fat you have on your body, with how much muscle you've built, so on and so forth, right? It's this kind of idea that you are not seeing yourself correctly, or even the way that other people do see you, right? And this is something that definitely competitors run into, which I know if you watching my channel, a lot of you are competitors, right? So it's very relevant, but it's also relevant to anybody who's had a goal with their physique, their body in general, which is, let's be honest, pretty much most people in the fitness industry. There's very few people who get involved in the fitness industry to any degree that are not doing it for at least some part of an aesthetic gain, right? You know, you can think about performance sports and things, but I mean, performance sports, people still have an aesthetic look they would like to attain and or achieve. Most of the fitness industry is all about exactly what I said: building muscle, burning fat, achieving a certain look, right? Your dream body, those types of things. And especially for competitors, we do know that that is a specific look, a specific criteria you need to meet, right? And so body dysmorphia becomes this issue where you are rigorously tracking your progress, right? You're looking, you're taking check-ins all the time, taking videos, taking pictures, stepping on scales, taking measurements, doing this and that. And, you know, you end up getting into a pattern where you can easily start beating yourself up about how you look, how you feel, and, you know, start getting in your head in the wrong ways about if you're actually making progress due to this kind of dysmorphia that can occur. And, you know, obviously I've coached many different types of people. I've coached athletes and competitors and also the average everyday gym goer, and I've coached them to the tune of thousands and thousands of them over the years. So I will tell you this, okay? First thing I want you to understand, if you're dealing with a body dysmorphia issue, one, you are not alone, okay? I mean, this is a very, very common thing. You know, for example, I think I've said it to some other competitors when I have conversations with them about this. You know, there has yet to be a competitor I have met that does not have some form of body dysmorphia, right? And this is because, you know, when you're constantly analyzing your physique, you're constantly taking pictures, taking posing, looking at scales, looking at stats, trying to figure out if you're going to be on par for your criteria of your show, your division, your look, or whatever, you can become obsessive, okay? And it's human nature to do this, to become obsessive with things, goals that we're focused on. It's really more of a survival tactic than anything, right? Because the more focus and energy you can put into things that would be a goal back in, you know, caveman days would result in survival. But now we spend a lot of that time, that energy, that focus, that effort on things that are not survival, but it kind of comes out in a primal way in what we do. And that can really lead to obsession with things like competing or weight loss, fat loss, muscle building, strength training, going to the gym in general, any of our hobbies that we may create for ourselves, right? So it's very easy to become obsessive. And when you can start to do that, you start to create unrealistic expectations in your head, right? Where things should be moving. For example, people can easily obsess with the scale, and it's something you see very commonly with, let's say, you know, people trying to burn body fat at any level. You could be 600 pounds trying to lose 100 pounds. You could also be, you know, 130 trying to lose 5 pounds. It doesn't really matter. People can very easily look at the tools and, you know, the things that you use in your fitness journey to become these obsessive markers. And we see that with the scale a lot, to where you can easily go and, you know, weigh yourself every day, which I do not suggest doing, by the way. Do not do that. If you're watching this channel and you're weighing yourself every day, please don't do that. Okay. Just once a week is plenty. That's all you need. All right. Same time of day, same day of the week. once a week. That's all you need. But, a lot of people that are losing body fat, competitors, or even, like I said, the obese person that wants to lose weight, they start weighing themselves daily, and you start to create then an unrealistic expectation with what that scale will do, right? Because a lot of times, anytime anyone's stepping on the scale, you're wanting to see it go down for the most part if you're in a fat loss journey, or at least maintain. You will be unhappy, in other words, if it goes up. However, you start to create that unrealistic expectation with every single time you step on the scale, it should be down. Well, we already know that doesn't happen, right? As a coach who coaches people that actually burn fat, build muscle, transform their bodies, do all of this, I can tell you it doesn't do that every single day. And there's going to be times where it's up, times where it's down, and there's going to be times when it's all around, and that's just the way it goes. But you can start to, in your mind, frame an unrealistic expectation that every time I weigh in, I should see the scale down. And if I don't, I'm doing something wrong. I'm off. I'm not on the plan right. Something's not working. It's my coach. It's my program. It's whatever, right? But you see how all of that actually stemmed from the incorrect expectation of the scale and what it will do every day, not with your actual progress, right? Because what we see generally, and why I said weighing in once a week is plenty, and even then you could stretch that further, really progress is all about trends over time. It's about, how much progress you're going to make over a period of time to get from A to Z. It's never about, trying to shortcut that process into like a 24-hour window or something, which some people unfortunately do. And competitors, you are notorious of this. Fat loss people, you're notorious of this. People trying to build muscle, even it's a little harder with muscle because muscle takes longer to build. So, a lot of people kind of know that in their brain that, okay, I did some lateral raises yesterday, my delts aren't going to be bigger today. But people think with fat loss, if you eat less one day, you're automatically, you did it. That's where you are supposed to be. If you did more cardio yesterday, you're good to go. You should be able to see that on the scale today, right? But it's just not realistic. And even worse is when you start to do this with your exact physique, right? So literally looking in a mirror or taking pictures, taking posing videos, and you're analyzing and you're looking all the time, which, honestly, it is part of a competition journey. It's part of a dieting journey. It's part of any type of a transformation you want to attain. But if you start to create unrealistic expectations and thus unhealthy relationships with doing it, all that you're going to get is negative out of it, right? Because what ends up happening is you're taking these videos, you're taking these pictures, you're taking these stats, you're doing whatever, you're stepping on the scale. And if it doesn't show exactly what you want in those moments, it becomes, again, a panic freak out. It becomes anxiety. It becomes stress. It becomes frustration. It becomes a lot of information that was not accurate that can derail your actual real progress, right? Like the amount of people that could step on the scale on the wrong day or something of that nature, or take, pictures that all of a sudden you look like you're holding a little bit more water, and now you decide that your whole plan's bad, your coach is bad, you got to change your meals, do this and that. You end up making mistakes. You end up making these errors that actually do ensure that you will not get to the result. Whereas if you had never done that and you hadn't obsessed over it and you hadn't kind of fed the body dysmorphia in that way, then you would have came out on top, right? So you got to think about that. And that's why I said, if you're weighing yourself all the time and you have a problem with that, you probably want to back off that a bit. And the same can really come down to honestly reviewing your check-ins, doing check-ins, things like that to make sure you're on progress for your competition. You need to make sure that you understand realistic variables for this, okay? And one of the best hacks to do if you're a competitor and you're struggling with that body dysmorphia, if you're somebody out there who's training for fat loss, struggling with that body dysmorphia, or you're even somebody trying to build muscle, struggling with that body dysmorphia, if I'm telling you that body dysmorphia is largely, you not being able to see yourself accurately, best thing you can do is not try to do that all the time, okay? And what I mean by that is, in a lot of ways, you can hack the whole system by getting yourself a coach, okay? Coaches like me, many of them out there, we are not stuck in those realms. We're not stuck on staring at that scale. We're not stuck staring in the mirror. We're not stuck staring at pictures. We're not doing that like you are, right? What we do is we look at things and we know trends. We know how athletes are going to respond. We know how dietitians dietary changes will affect them. We know how training will affect them. We know how, sleep can affect you, water intake can affect you, sodium intake can affect you, hormones can affect you. A lot of things that, you may know little bits, tidbits here and there about, but you can't perfect and you can't control. And also, if you're dealing with this body dysmorphia stuff, you don't really necessarily see the correct answers at those times, right? Like a lot of times you'll see that and you'll see the picture and you focus on, oh, wow, it looked like I'm holding water today. And for some reason, even if you knew that was water, you don't correlate that as water. You look at that more as like it's body fat, and it creates, again, the panic mode, the repeat cycle of the bad habits being created that end up not leading to you getting the good results, right? So, it's one of those things where you definitely want to have a coach in your corner, especially being a competitor, somebody with a very serious goal. If you're a casual gym goer and you just like to work out and you want to go to the gym and you're not too worried about your aesthetic or, any of that, that's great. I mean, that's not most people, but that's great. And in that case, if you just go for fun and you don't really care how the results work, all right, that's just fine. That's good for you. That works for you, but for most people, it's not going to be that, right? Most people don't want to waste time in a gym. Most people don't want to waste time working out. Most people want to go and spend time, spend energy, effort, and money even, to actually get to a result. So if that's you, having a coach in your corner is a massive advantage, right? Because anytime my clients, they have these moments, and it happens every single week, don't get me wrong, because like I said, a lot of people deal with this issue. You don't really see yourself correctly. I'm no stranger to that, right? Like, I mean, I've been through that all the time. If you guys don't know about my journey, I've had many weight loss journeys along my journey over time, gaining and losing hundreds of pounds at times, even in my life, as part of my journey as a coach, which led me to bodybuilding, which led me to here to help all of you. But there is no, I understand 100% in my own brain what it's like to deal with body dysmorphia. And I know from dealing with literally thousands of clients over the years that it's a very, very common thing. It's way, way, way rare if I found somebody that didn't have it compared to the fact that most people probably do, probably 95% of people. And that's because, again, it's very easy to just not see yourself correctly when you're in your body 24/7. You're not noticing the changes as much. You're not noticing what's changing. You don't notice this and that. And you also tend to also really focus on the negatives much more than the positives. I mean, I see that across the board where people be like, okay, well, yeah, somebody could have improved on XYZ things, but there's one thing that's a little off or something they don't like, and that's the only thing they focus on, right? But again, great reason to have a coach, because a coach, for example, like me, I'm doing check-ins with my clients. Somebody brings something to me. They say, hey, I'm really not happy with how I look today. And say, okay, great. Let's look at this though. What about this? Did this change this week? Actually, your stats reflect this way. This measurement reflects that way. And I can see this progress here and there. And here's a good example. And let me show you what it looks like, right? Those type of things, or just having somebody that has that expertise and that knowledge to tell you, hey, no, that's cool. I mean, yeah, we should expect the scale to be up a little bit today because you had more sodium in the week. We just talked about that. So, you had a bad night of sleep. Yeah, that can make the scale do this and that. That can actually make you hold more water. That's why you look softer today in check-ins, right? And, things like this, and just give you the feedback you need, give you the reassurance you need to be able to stay the course, which is then what guarantees the result, right? So if you're really dealing with the body dysmorphia bits and it's getting you in a hard way, because it is very, very difficult to deal with and it's very frustrating, for one, get yourself a coach. For two, if you have one, communicate better with your coach, talk about these things and, ask more questions, get better insight into your progress, get better insight in understanding why things may look the way they do, how they shift, how they undulate. Like my clients that have been with me a long time, they understand this, no matter what, they totally get that things can shift, that not every check-in is going to be up. Not every single time they step on the scale, it's going to be down. Not every single time they check in, they're going to look leaner. Sometimes they're going to look softer. Sometimes it's going to go this way and that way. A lot of them, at some point, they don't even worry about that because, again, we've kind of defeated in a lot of ways that kind of body dysmorphia that takes place. So it's one of those things that you have to work through and you have to keep practicing through, and you can shortcut that by getting yourself a coach that can really help you just stay on track with your goals and give you the expertise, the feedback, and the advice that you need. So realistically, I think that's very important for everybody who's dealing with that. And that's why I often say, and you'll see me say it on this channel all the time, competitors don't try to compete without a coach. I mean, it can be done, but it's grueling, it's taxing, it's not really worth it in the end. It's not very fulfilling. A lot of people struggle through it, and some people even quit competing in general, trying to prep themselves and just the stuff they have to deal with to do that, right? So a lot lot of things come from that. But overall, if you're dealing with those issues, that body dysmorphia, it's a normal thing. It comes up for everybody. I swear it really does. Everyone in the fitness industry will deal with some of it at some point in time. And it's, not one of those things to freak out about or panic about. It's really more so to be like, okay, well, what actionable measures can I take to help kind of combat that, prevent that, and also, stay on top of that and hopefully one day eliminate that, right? Because that is the thing. And it's just the way it goes, nature of the beast. When you want to change something about yourself, you will hyper focus on it, you will obsess over it, and you will create unrealistic expectations for how it can be done. And really what ends up happening is you kind of got to get brought back to earth in a lot of ways, and you got to relearn what those expectations should be and strive for the best within the realm of reality, not in this world that you kind of created in your head that every single time you step on a scale, it's going to be down, every single check-in's going to look lean, every single this and that. And those worlds, when you live in an unrealistic world, in your mind, but the real world's happening all around you, creates a lot of issues, right? It makes you frustrated. It can make you sad. It can make you tired. It can make you depressed. It can do a lot of things to that mindset. And most of all, it will take you off track. It will 100% take you off track for your goals. Your intensity in the gym will change. Your intensity you bring to your food will change. Your seriousness about your goals, your motivation, all that goes away. So try to hack that system, get yourself a coach, focus on what you need to be doing, and work, to unprogram those things over time. And again, don't beat yourself up about this. Don't feel like some part of you is broken or something. It's not. It's just the nature of the beast. It happens to everybody, and you can work through those things, and I strongly encourage it. So again, viewer suggested topic. If you have more, you want more different things, comment them down below. I read every single comment, and I'll be back to fire up with more of those. I'm going to try to just continue to expand the stuff we're talking about on this channel. So thank you all for watching. Coach Ryan is out.